Howdy friends, Spitz here, and this is Feed Bandit, the Texas First Outdoors podcast. You know, there is a specific kind of magic that happens in the Texas Hill Country when the spring sun starts to climb a little higher and the cedar brakes begin to hum with the heat of the coming summer. It is a time when the native whitetails are just starting to nub out their antlers in velvet. But across the fence line, you might see something that looks like it stepped out of a dream or a different continent entirely. A creature with a coat like a permanent fawn, dotted with white spots that never fade, and a set of antlers that sweep back like the horns of an ancient king. I am talking about the axis deer, the monarch of the Texas exotics. Today we are diving deep into the world of the axis, breaking down the technicals of chasing these ghost-like spirits through the live oaks, the science of their year-round cycle, and the philosophy of why the axis has become such a cornerstone of our Texas outdoor heritage. Pull up a chair. We have a lot of ground to cover. When we talk about axis deer in Texas, we are talking about a success story that is as big as the state itself. Originally brought over from India in the 1930s, these animals found a home in the Edwards Plateau that suited them better than their own backyard. They aren't just an exotic curiosity anymore. They are a vital part of our landscape. But to hunt them successfully, you have to throw out your whitetail playbook. Axis deer are a different breed of wary. They are gregarious, moving in large herds where you have 50 pairs of eyes and 50 noses working against you. If you want to put one of these in the salt, you have to be sharper than the cactus they live in. Technical tip number 1. Understand the free-range cycle. Unlike our native deer that are tied to a strict fall rut, axis deer can be in any stage of antler growth at any time of the year. However, the peak of the Texas axis rut usually hits when the heat starts cranking in May, June, and July. If you want a trophy buck in hard horn, you need to be looking for them when the whitetail hunters are still sitting in the AC. Listen for the roar. An axis buck doesn't grunt. He bellows like a frustrated elk. If you hear that guttural, haunting sound echoing through a draw, you have found your target. Position yourself downwind and be patient. They are loud, but they are fast, and they don't tolerate a shifting breeze. Technical tip number 2, the spot and stalk approach. Axis deer love the edges, where the thick cedar meets the open oat patches or the native grasses. Because they are so herd-oriented, a blind isn't always your best bet. You need to use your glass, sit on a high point and scan the shadows under the live oaks. Look for that telltale flick of a tail or the shine of an antler tip. When you move like a shadow yourself. Axis have incredible eyesight, and they are much more likely to bark and clear the country than a whitetail. If one barks, the whole herd is gone. Keep the wind in your face and move an inch at a time. Technical tip number 3, shot placement and caliber. An axis buck is a tank. They are built heavier than a whitetail with thicker hide and denser bone. A mature buck can easily push 300 pounds. You want a caliber with some punch, a .270, a .30-06, or a .300 Win. Mag is a solid choice. Aim for the crease just behind the shoulder, but aim slightly lower than you would on a whitetail. Their vitals are tucked in tight. And remember, axis meat is arguably the finest venison on the planet. It is lean, tender, and has almost no gamey flavor. Treat that meat with respect from the moment the animal hits the ground. Get it on ice fast, especially in that Texas summer heat. Technical tip number 4, the waterhole ambush. In the dog days of a Texas summer, water is the great equalizer. Axis deer drink frequently, often multiple times a day. Finding a secluded seep or a hidden trough far back in the brush can be more effective than any corn feeder. They are cautious coming to water, usually sending the does in first to scout. Stay motionless. Let the herd settle in and start drinking before you even think about reaching for your rifle. Preserving the tradition of the axis hunt in Texas is about more than just pulling a trigger. It is about understanding the balance of our ecosystem. These animals are here to stay, and they provide us with a year-round opportunity to stay sharp, to keep our boots on the ground, and to put organic, high-quality protein on our family tables. Protecting the legacy means treating these exotics with the same reverence we give our native game. Just because there isn't a season on them doesn't mean we don't follow the highest ethical standards. We take the shots we know we can make, we respect the land they walk on, and we honor the animal in the harvest. Chasin axis deer reminds us that Texas is a land of endless opportunity. It is a place where the wild finds a way to thrive, and where the outdoorsman is the primary steward of that life. When you stand over a fallen axis buck, with those long sweeping beams and that spotted hide, you are looking at a piece of the world that we have cultivated and protected. It is a reminder that our heritage is living, breathing, and always evolving. So what do you think of that? Are we right on target, or did we totally miss the boat on that one? Email us at howdy@feedbandit.com and let us know either way. And don't forget to check us out at feedbandit.com and grab some gear to show off your Texas First Outdoors pride. Preserve the tradition, protect the legacy, and remember, always support your local feed store. If you're there for them, they'll be there for you when you need them the most out in the field. Stand tall, fellow Texian. We'll talk soon.